Okay, we're going to look at the teaching set page in Connect Interactive and getting the most from Connect Interactive analysis for your individual teaching set. So I'm going to start in the subject area, and I've got an exam set of data on here. So I'm going to be a biology teacher for a moment, and I am going to look at my teaching set in biology and look at what types of analysis I can get from my Connect Interactive page. So this is my subject overview for that exam set. Bear in mind that if you've got monitoring data, it's exactly the same. You just have to be in the monitoring area here, okay, and choose your monitoring grade. So I'm going to pop into the biology. Now I can see there are two sets in biology. Unfortunately, mine is the blue set. So before I go into my set though, I just want to get a feel for what my subject area looks like. So it's a grade 6 overall, 23 students. We've got a little bit of a gap between male and female. 0.2 of a score difference is a grade per student. And we as a biology department have got a 0.1 gap. So we're just going to be a little bit more concerned about the progress of our boys, I think, there. And disadvantage wise, we've got a gap 2. So a little bit of an eye on the progress of our disadvantaged young people. So let's scroll down. There I am, set 1, 10 students, grade 7. Now the other set achieved a grade 4, so I'm probably going to be feeling pretty miserable at this point in time, but let's have a look at them anyway. So let's pop into that teaching set. So here we are, and I've got a gap analysis here. Now look at the difference with my set between the boys and the girls. It's over a grade per entry. So the boys are underperforming by over a grade. I've got to be a little bit concerned about that, but it may be that there's a story sitting behind those 3 boys. There are always stories. So that's my gap analysis. By the way, I could have a trend of 4 exam year grade points. I've just got 1 on just for ease of talking about it. Right, let's look at my students. Okay, there they are. I'm going to just sort by prior attainment here and bring my highest prior attainers to the top. Now look at this. None of my A grade minimum expected grade students got that A grade. I did get an A grade, but it wasn't from them. So that's got to be a worry. How am I stretching my most stable at the top end? I'm doing not too badly at the lower end. Look at the lower prior attainment. They're getting C's. There's a student here who got an E grade who should have been on a B/C, and the B grades there on D's. So I might be able to tease out some priorities from that. Let's do a little bit of modelling now. So let's click that what if on. A grade 7, what would it have taken to get out of that blue? So let's click and drag that and drop it on a grade 5. It would have taken 6 students 1 grades, or 6 students or 6 grades to move out of the blue, well, to move to a grade 5. So what I can now do is I can look at who these students are. So let's look at those A grades. So not happy with that D. If we could have moved each one of those up a little bit, I'm still on a grade 7, but if I could have moved those to B's, let's just be B grade across the board. So a grade 6. So that would have moved me out of the blue. So maybe there's something to be argued to say I need to do some targeted work with my high prior attaining young people to enable them to progress to that top grade. Let's just reset that. So that's the what if analysis. I can now let me just show you the effect of individual students on that analysis. So we talked about this student here was a B/C and got an E grade. Now ALPS should never be a stick. In other words, it should never be used as a tool for saying, you know, that's wrong, that's bad. So let's look at it as a tool for improvement. Now, student 99 potentially could have had a lot of problems last year that prevented them from being in my class and sitting down in front of me. So let's just do a bit of modelling. Let's take student 99 out of my calculation. compare, edit, ad hoc, enable. Now then, everybody's turned orange. So what I can now do is I can now take student 99 out of the orange group and pop them in the green group. They're just arbitrary colours, by the way. Now look at the effect that that's had. So there's student 99 in the green group on his own, and there's my orange group without him in it. It has not moved me from a grade 7, but it has moved me slightly higher up the thermometer. But it's an interesting little bit of analysis to do just to be able to isolate different students and see what effect they might have had. I'm not making any statements on, should that student have been in the group or not. I'm just saying that is a potential way of just looking at, in terms of with your line manager, saying sort of compromising discussions in terms of, hang on, that student didn't appear in my class very often. So let's just reset that. Final thing I'm going to show you is go back to the home page and pop into students. And what I can do in this area is I can isolate my biology students. I can't isolate my individual class, but I can isolate my students. I did that by just clicking on biology and dragging it into that blue box there, and it filtered out all my biologists. I can now see how they've done across all of their other subjects, and whether it's unique to mine or not. There's student 99, look, blue in mine, actually got his maths and was 1 below in physical education. So I might actually think, if I didn't see him very often, was it just biology that he was avoiding? Because he seems to have done very well in maths and not so badly in PE. So that's another way of looking at it. The final thing I want to show you, which is again at a subject level, is the monitoring accuracy. So I have got the ability to compare 2 grade points. So I'm just going to add to this their final predicted grades just before they went into the exam. So this is their MP4 in May. So as a department, we were predicting a grade 3 and we got a grade 6. Okay, for me in my set, okay, which was set 1, I predicted a grade 3 and we got a grade 7 in the end. So I might want to think about how I'm basing my predictions, what I'm basing them on, and how I'm arriving at my predictions, because at the moment it seems like I'm predicting too high. So hopefully that's given you an overview of the ways in which you can use Connect Interactive to get the most for your exam analysis, for your monitoring analysis, and so you can set yourself some priorities for the year ahead.